Listen here. I realize time has passed. There's always someone in the comment section who wants to inform me that I'm a decade late. Yeah, okay, how long has it been since the Cinderella live adaptation came out? I saw it in theaters because a girl wanted to watch it. She wanted to watch it. I said, sure. What was I going to say? Was I going to say no? Obviously, I watched it in theaters because she wanted to watch it. So I'm sitting there next to my girl, my best friend, the trumpet player, and we're watching the Cinderella live adaptation. And I think to myself, it's not like the animated film was great. It was just a generic Disney princess movie. It's not like I have a lot of fond memories of motherfucking Cinderella. I don't give a damn about Cinderella. I never have, and I never will. But my girl wanted to watch the freaking live action adaptation. And now I'm trapped in this theater. What was I going to do? Walk out mid-movie? Obviously not. What I hate about seeing the film in theaters is that you can't pause it to go to the bathroom. You can go to the bathroom, but you're going to miss some of the film. And then it feels like you're not getting your money's worth. So you hold it. There are so many movies that I watched in theaters just because the trumpet player wanted to see them. I even went to the motherfucking premiere of The Force Awakens just because of her. And I also saw the premiere of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with her and my ex-boyfriend and another ex of mine and his date and the fireman, Luis Diaz, and his date. And there was a whole group of us. Class of 2024. The Cinderella live-action adaptation was boring. And I had no interest in it to begin with. I'm not the target demographic, all right? I never was and I never will be. Yeah, I saw the animated film as a kid. Of course I did. My parents would sit us down in front of the TV. Would you settle down? Stop climbing on the couches, Andy. Sit down. Watch this movie. Why are you such a monkey? Always running around, climbing over stuff, shouting, and grabbing your older sister by the hair and wrestling her to the ground until she cries, and then wrestling your brother to the ground until he cries. Let's just say I was a rambunctious kid. And my parents, they knew that I was the troublemaker. You know what? I admit it. 'Twas me. It was Andy. I liked starting fights, and I liked ending them. I liked wrestling, and I wanted to be a ninja. I was not the target demographic for the Disney princess movies, all right? But I saw them with my sister, and sometimes my brother even watched them with us. He really loved Peter Pan. He was obsessed. He probably doesn't remember. He was 2. He was a 2-year-old in the Peter Pan costume. There's photos of little toddler David dressed up like Peter Pan. That's the proof. Haven't you seen the photos? And then later, when we were older, maybe he saw the photos, or maybe my mother was already feeling nostalgic for the Terrible Twos. But basically, David got a Peter Pan costume again when he was a little older. Obviously, it was a bigger costume because he was a bigger boy. He was still shorter than me back then. How old was I? 8? 7? And he was still shorter than me. He was Peter Pan, and I was Captain Hook. That was my favorite costume. I loved being a pirate. Yeah, I'm a pirate, and I'm also a ninja. And you can be one of the Lost Boys. I was living in San Antonio with Jamie in a studio apartment downtown. Jamie wanted to go to a cafe, a French cafe. But on this particular day, Fair Verona in San Antonio, Texas, Jamie wanted to go to this new bookstore. It wasn't new, but it was new to me. Nowhere Book Shop in San Antonio, Texas. It's a good bookstore. They had just opened a little coffee shop inside the bookstore, and Jamie was excited about it. Jamie said, well, they went without me first and bought some coffee and talked to the barista. Apparently, she was the same age as me. Apparently, she was from Laredo, Texas. Apparently, she went to the same high school as me and also graduated class of 2014. Jamie got all this information while chatting with the barista at Nowhere Bookshop. And I guess Jamie couldn't resist. Have you met Andrea Delano? Have you met Andrea Elizabeth Delano of Laredo, Texas, class of 2024 United High School? Jamie would get mad at me every time they caught me speaking about them to one of my girlfriends or boyfriends because they did not want to be perceived. But Jamie was a hypocrite. As soon as Jamie found out that this random barista working at Nowhere Bookshop went to the same high school as me, they couldn't resist asking, have you met Andrea Delano? She also went to that high school. And the barista said, yeah. Wasn't she in the choir with her brother? There were 6 of us. You know, 6 Mexican Americans sitting in a tree, jumping on a bed. One fell off and hit her head. Then came marriage, but she got divorced. Then came, there were 6 of us. Miranda was number 1. Sandra D, number 2. Leticia, the Lolita goth chick, she was the rumor. I was number 4. That's how I'm remembered. In the choir with the brother. The brother. David, you're so memorable, bro. This random barista working at Nowhere Bookshop in San Antonio, Texas. She remembers your handsome face. Of course she does. Everyone remembers you, David. Anyway, Jamie thought that, I thought, she's cute. She's attractive. What's her name? She went to the same high school as me. I don't recognize her. What's her name? She's gorgeous. Well, I've met her. When did I meet her? Was she in the choir? Did she say she was in the choir? Or did she just attend the school and saw me from a distance and knew me by reputation? The thing is, there were a lot of kids in the band, the marching band, that knew me because I was best friends with the trumpet player. And let's just say the trumpet player, she was tall and tan and young and lovely and loud. Everyone knew the trumpet player. She was loud. She was touched by the tism. It was obvious. I don't think she's been officially diagnosed. Of course not. This is Texas. But it was obvious to me that the trumpet player, she's just like my kid brother. The moment I met her in middle school, I thought to myself, this child doesn't have any manners. It's fine. It's not her fault. I guess her parents didn't raise her to know better. And maybe she was touched by the tism. What's up? How's the weather up there? Yeah, I'm totally a leprechaun. Haha. Your short jokes are hilarious. That was my first impression of the trumpet player. Back when we were in middle school, she would obsessively make short jokes every time she saw me. Later, in high school, let's just say she had a glow up. And I was all, hey, how is the weather up there? Do you remember me? We went to the same middle school. You're even taller. And I'm still the same height because I haven't grown since the 8th grade. You're even taller. What's up? I'm not in the band anymore. But, I'm still friends with the band kids. Anyway, everyone in the band, most of them, were aware of me because I would follow the trumpet player into the band hall. Of course I did. She was tall and tan and young and lovely, and I'm a simple gal. But I was in the choir for 2 years. I mean, I was also in the choir in middle school, but middle school doesn't count. In high school, I was in the choir freshman and sophomore year. Junior year, I switched to theater arts. Before I switched to theater arts, my sophomore year of high school, my brother was a freshman, and he was also in the choir. And he was handsome, much better looking than me. Yeah. David, everyone knows. He's the handsome one in the family. The gods blessed him with a face. David, King Solomon. He doesn't have much in the height department, but he sure has a face. And then he got contacts. When he got those eye contacts, that's when the women in the choir started asking me about him. Andy, is your brother single? He took off his glasses. He's got a girlfriend. Her name is Ruth, and they're very happy together. They're a match made in heaven, and they'll totally get married one day. Sorry, he's got a girlfriend. And I've got a boyfriend. His name is Stein. Why are you messaging my sister on Facebook to tattle tale about me and the trumpet player, huh? Yeah, I kissed a girl. So what? I've got a boyfriend, huh? I'm bisexual. Don't be freaking messaging my older sister who's in college. Stop me if you've heard this story before. I know you have. This is the 10,000th time. The reason I keep repeating this story is because one day, the woman who messaged Sandra Dayano on Facebook to tattletale on Andy Dayano for being fruity, I want her to see this video. What's up, cunt? She was the rumor. I was number 4. Gabriel is number 5. You are number 6. There were 6 of us. Wait. Number 7? Rafa's son. Yeah, he was number 7. Pardon me. Lo siento. There were 7 of us. I am 4. And you are Uncle Ben. Yana was number 1. Sandra was number... He was number 7. I am 4. It was a book. a sequel, a prequel, a companion book. You know, you know, Divergent. Wasn't it the same author? The Dauntless Man, whose name was Four, Quattro, number four. He had his own book that was dedicated to him. And, sorry, I'm kind of surprised. I kind of messed up. Some of this is white. Whoa, that was by accident. You know, I meant to just bleach my brown roots. They came out looking kind of yellow. Actually, what color is this? Almost orange. Pearl. Morgan Stark was 22. She was 22 when she found an old pair of Edith glasses. You know, these old glasses, they are totally high-tech. They're old, but high-tech. Her father invented them. Morgan Stark. Her father was Anthony Stark, and he invented Edith, a highly advanced, artificially intelligent chatbot. Why is Musk so obsessed with the letter X anyway? If you want to freak yourself out about the imminent spread of infectious diseases, Lil Science is a useful and informative Substack. Let's get the conspiracy board, children. In 1963, the United States began to battle the measles. And I'm getting my information from the Lil Science Substack, all right? There, I cited my source. Lil Science Substack. Lil spacebar science spacebar Substack. You can Google it, huh? In 1963, they began vaccinating against the measles. In 2000, the United States officially declared itself free of the measles. You know, the whole elimination. Obviously, we still had the occasional measles case, but it wasn't rampant. We nipped it in the bud because the children were being vaccinated. Up until 1989, they would only get one vaccination, but starting in the 90s, they started doing 2 vaccinations for the children. And most people my age were vaccinated against the measles as children. However, in 2020, the old hags, the MAGA heads, started panicking about autism. In 2020, there was QAnon, and there was a growing movement, the anti-vaxxers. We don't need your science. We don't need Lil Science. Why would we want science? We've got the Bible. Jesus, take the wheel. We've got the Bible and we've got Donald Trump. Therefore, autism. It would be hilarious if it weren't so goddamn imbecilic. In 2020, it began as a refusal to be vaccinated against the coronavirus. However, a lot of these MAGA heads decided vaccines are evil. All of them, across the board. Every single vaccine, Satan's work. Because it's science. And science is the domain of the devil's domain, Dante's Inferno. Therefore, it's my God-given right as an American to abstain from vaccinations. And it's also my God-given right as a mother and a father of children to prevent my children from being vaccinated against the measles or smallpox or what have you. And if you refuse to allow my child into this public school because I refuse to get them their vaccinations, I'll just homeschool them. That's what was going on in 2020. That was 5 years ago. Today, there's an outbreak of measles in West Texas. And you know, I'm in South Texas. People underestimate how large Texas is. The West Texaners are far away from me, but they're close enough to piss me off. In 2000, the United States of America eliminated the measles. 20 years later, Bible-thumping morons, these imbeciles, decided that medicine is evil. And 5 years after that, the United States is, we're losing our status as one of the countries that defeated the measles because we lost our herd immunity. Good job, MAGA heads. Good job, Trumpsters. Good job, red heads. Rednecks. It used to mean that you were standing for workers' rights. The red, what was it, a bandana? It used to be about the union. It used to be about the working class standing up for their rights. But now it's about paranoia that this measles vaccination is going to turn your child gay. Your little boy will be autistic if you give him this medicine. The parents that make these decisions are not only affecting the health of their children, they're also affecting the health of the entire country. Texas will go down first, and then New Mexico, and then Arizona, and then, well, California's already on fire. Did they put out the fire yet? Good job. Did he want to be an X-Man? He's not an X-Man. He's a normie. He's a human. He's the Prince of Africa, and he's been touched by the tism. But we're not letting him in the clubhouse. Are you kidding me? Musk, the Tusk, Elon. And she found the old glasses in her mother's closet while looking for a prom dress or something. Oh wait, she's 22. While looking for a cocktail dress. And then after she found the glasses, she didn't really want to wear them because they were covered in dust. But she didn't need to wear them to hear Edith. Edith was talking to her. Edith said, Morgan Stark, you look just like your mother, Pepper Potts, the social climber, the secretary, the wife. You look just like Pepper. You totally have her eyes. And Morgan said, my dad used to tell me stories about the robots at Stark Tower. He said Jarvis and Dummy and Edith and Ultron were the best robots he ever met. Introducing Cosmo Vision. I am obsessed with WandaVision. That's the brown. And yeah, I missed some of it. It's very obvious to me. Or maybe, I did this last night, and you can already see my goddamn roots. I did this last night. But can you see the little brown dots? Those are my roots. Underneath. But I also accidentally bleached the hair that was already blonde. And now it's white. Whoa. I look like an old man. Do I look like an old man? I'm 58. But, I mean, poquito. Poquito, chicken, huevo, egg. You know, I don't have a lot of Spanish. But I know enough. Yo entendí. What does it matter, huh? I'm not a real Mexican-American if I don't speak Spanish. Am I a poser? I'm a fake Latino. What do you expect, huh? I'm just cousin Peña. And I was born in the USA. This is America. My parents didn't want me speaking with an accent. I mean, obviously I have an accent. We all have accents. But they didn't want me to sound wet. It was very obvious. We would visit our cousins, and our cousins, let's just say their household had a different set of rules. When I first met Leticia, it was obvious to me that Spanish was her first language. Poor Leticia. Leti, are you all right? You're awfully quiet. Were the kids bullying you? Is that why you're so quiet? You're like a little mouse. Would you speak up? Listen here, cousin Leti. You're a year older than me, huh? Speak up. I get it. English is your second language. Lo siento. But you know more English than I know Spanish. You know more English than I do Spanish. Would you work with me, huh? You're shy? You really expect me to believe that? You're shy? You're not shy. You're not fluent. Listen, I don't mean to be a party pooper. I'm in the choir. Do you like music? You know what? Here's the iPod hand-me-down that I got when my sister didn't want it anymore because our dad bought her a new iPod. I'll put one earbud in my ear, and you can put the other earbud in your ear. And then it'll be easier for me to tolerate you. We'll just sit here quietly and listen to music, huh? Because, you know, you're my cousin, and I have to put up with you. Leticia, Leti, I totally love you. But, it's clear to me that we don't have anything in common. Yeah, I love Taylor Swift. Your makeup is very pretty. A flashback. Is that what they call it? Role play. It's a flashback. Do I have to explain for the audience? When I was a young warthog. Well, the thing is, when I was a child, I wasn't a warthog. I was chicken legs. I was a meerkat. I was flaca. And, Leticia, she was also flaca. The both of us, scrawny. The both of us, tiny. She was only a year older than me. But her parents weren't as good at English as my parents were. Her father was younger than my father. Not by much. A year or 2. Or 3. I don't know. I'll give a toss. He was younger. And he wasn't as good at English. And I don't think his wife spoke any English. Dio Gabi, he speaks English, just not as well as Albert. And Elena? She doesn't speak any English at all, does she? I've never heard her speak English in all my 29 years. She still doesn't speak English. That's all right. That's not her fault. What's up, tia? Elena? Sorry, lo siento. Perdóname. How do you pronounce your name anyway? Elena? Elena? No, it's a pretty name. I'm not knocking the name. And Leticia is gorgeous. That's a beautiful name. Leticia. It's posh. Letty. It's cute. It's better than my name. My parents wanted me to fit in with the Americans. That's why my name is Andy. And my sister's name is Sandy. She's Sandra D. Anyway, she's Sandra P, because I'm cousin Benya. Anyway, this is totally autobiographical. I thought about writing a memoir, but then it occurred to me that the kind of people that enjoy memoirs, let's just say they're not my crowd. You know, they're the kind of people that want a cheerful coming-of-age story about my heritage. And most of the people who would read a memoir written by a Mexican-American about being Mexican-American, most of the people reading that memoir, they are Mexican-American. Why would I want to write a memoir for them? They called me Flaca Fea because I have my grandmother's nose. Abuelita Socorro, she had a pug nose, and so do I. Do I look like an old man? I'm 58, and I'm graying. What was I saying? Oh yeah, number 4. He was dauntless. And, he was just like Gale, the archetype. Gale. Does anyone remember Gale? No one gave a toss about Gale. He was boring. We wanted Peter Malark. Is that his name? Did I pronounce it right? The baker. We wanted Peter the baker. The pita bread. Of course we did. What's the name of the actor? Josh Hutcherson? I was never good at remembering the names of the actors. But you know, Peter. He was handsome. And he was much better looking than the actor that they got to play Gale. No offense to him. He was also handsome. But you know, he was taller and, broader. And he looked boring. I loved the actor that played Peter because he was smaller and he was pretty. What can I say? I have a type. Anyway, this isn't about Peter. This is about number 4. It's a trope. This character, he has a tragic backstory. He doesn't even have a name. She doesn't even have a name. Her name is 11 and she was raised by scientists and her name is 11. We'll call her L. Yeah, that's real clever. Thanks, Mike. You know what? I am a baker, and I baked some brownies last night. Well, all right, I didn't bake brownies. I made s'mores. Just for you, reader insert. I'm writing in second person point of view. And my name is number 9. Did you ever see the movie 9? Number 9? He's this little monito. A little doll. A little robot toy. He's got goggles. Anyway, I'm number 9, obviously. And, I made you some s'mores. I made them last night. And I even, I repurposed this packaging. And I, you know, doesn't it look professional? My name is number 9, and your name is Mike, Ike, Steven. And, we're gonna have together breakfast, because I made you s'mores. I didn't have any marshmallows. Sorry, buddy. I know you love the Nutter Futter. But I didn't have any marshmallows. Hear me out. I should play Lars Barriga in the live-action adaptation of Steven Universe. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. It's the role I was born to play. Lars Barriga, he is a baker. Isn't he just like Peter Malark? He's also like that kid from High School Musical. And he's baking creme brulee. And like, I get it, the boobs. But you know, I could hide them. I'll buy one of those binders. Technically speaking, I already bought one from the TikTok shop. And it just never showed up. I guess it got lost in the mail. And I never got my money back. But that's neither here nor there. I look just like Lars Barriga. And this time, I won't shop online. I will... Are there any stores in Texas that sell binders in person, physically, in the store? Is that legal? You know, these days, in Texas. We don't want to talk about politics. I bought it, and it just never showed up. This was months ago. And I thought, should I try again on a different website? Shame on me for using the TikTok shop. It's not like it was my first time making a purchase off the TikTok shop. But this time, let's just say it was a more expensive purchase. And it figures that it never arrived at my apartment. Anyway, don't I look just like Lars Barriga? He's Latino, isn't he? Barriga? Isn't he Latino? I'm Latino. And he's got those ears that have been, stretched by his gauges? I could get some gauges. Doesn't he have a big nose? I've got a big nose. And yeah, his hair is kind of curly and poofy. I'll get the freaking curling iron. What color is his hair anyway? I know he ends the show with cotton candy pink hair. That's doable. That's easy. But at the beginning of the show, is he a redhead? Is he supposed to be a redhead that dyes his hair red and he's Latino? A Latino dyeing his hair red? Or is he... It doesn't matter. This is the live action adaptation. Let's make him blonde. Shouldn't he be blonde? I've always had a fondness for blonde. I don't want to be Scorpius Malfoy. I'm too old. How old is Lars Berga anyway? At the end of the show, well, he's significantly older than Steven. How old is he at the end of the show? You know what? This Steven Universe live action adaptation, it takes place after Steven Universe Future. Lars Berga, he's 29. I just decided. And he doesn't really have an appetite since the accident. But he still, he made himself some eggs because his parents insist that he should eat food like a human. And he's all, maybe we should add salt. Or maybe, is there something wrong with the food? Or is there something wrong with Lars? But that's all right. This is Nutella and graham crackers. On my planet, well, there would normally also be marshmallows. I didn't have any marshmallows. And I'm totally gonna eat this on camera to prove that I ate the chocolate. Wasn't there a controversy because one of the supermodels, she would pose with a macaroon or some posh dessert, and she'd be like, but she wouldn't actually bite it. She wouldn't actually eat it. She was just, this macaroon is so tasty. And this egg is also tasty. I love papa con huevo. I didn't have any potatoes. I thought about getting potatoes just for the bit, but anyway, I love huevo, eggs, and I love pollito, and gato, arigato gozaimasu. Gomen, gomen, gomen. Frick, listen, I'm monolingual. I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak any Spanish, but I mean poquito. Sandra was number 2. Leticia was number 3. And she was as beautiful as the rumor. Letty, she was a goth Lolita. She was obviously number 3. I was number 4. There were 6 of us. Oh wait, no. Pardon me. Number 7. What was his name? He was number 7. I am 4. That's why I'm Pansy Bloody Parkinson. And I'm British as fuck. And you can be the crocodile. You want to wrestle? Sometimes we would get carried away while we were wrestling. This one time, we were shopping with our mother. She was shopping. We were roughhousing. And he got me good. He shoved my face into this steel... we were at the Sam's Club. It's a warehouse. And so the shelves are... He shoved my head. My tooth was already loose. I already had a baby tooth loose. But he knocked it the rest of the way out. And my mother was pissed. Why won't you sit still? Why are you always wrestling? Why are you always fighting? Why are you always making your brother cry? She was mad at me. Even if I was the one bleeding, somehow he was the one crying. It wasn't his fault. He was smaller than me. He was a year and a half younger. It was not his fault. He was the wimpy kid, and I was Roderick. I was Roderick, and he was the wimpy kid. And Sandra D, she was also Roderick. Sandra D, she gave as good as she got. Of course she did. She's a De Leon, and this is the Lion Academy. Among the lions, let's just say the women outnumber the men. I'm totally Luisa. Is that her name? I'm not nervous. I'm the strong one. And I'm as tough as the crust of the earth is. I didn't love her outfit. What is that lame Mexican dress she's wearing? Yeah, I had a dress like that once. My abuelita Fina bought it for me. And I wore it one time, I think. And maybe I allowed one of the tias to take a photo. But Andy, cousin Andy, everyone knew. What, was it a secret? It's not confidential. Somebody told you I was your girlfriend that looks like a boyfriend. And you met me back in high school. It's not confidential. I've got potential. How do you do? My name is Cinder Marcello. How do you do? Prince Frederick. Thanks for bringing me into your home. I'll be an errand boy. I'll be your cousin. I'll be your cousin. I'll be your cousin. Ben, yeah, bro. How do you do? Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence daily. Oh, Cecilia, I'm down on my knees and I'm begging you, please. Sod off. Cecilia, I'm down on my knees. I'm begging you, please. Bugger off. Good afternoon. I'm Scrooge McDuck. Don't I look just like a Daffy Duck? I'm Cinder Bow. I'm Cinder Belle. I'm Ella Elizabeth.